What's up, guys? Farooqi Bros here, back with another Built Different stream. Today, for you guys, we've been talking about a bunch of topics, but I want to start off with the Batman. So, the Batman's been actually pretty much trending every single day this last week for various reasons. The score, for one, was featured. One of the main tracks of the score was featured from Matt Reeves and the composer, which I'm going to get your thoughts on soon. There was a clip of the first kind of official clip of the Batman that was also shown off, that gives a look at the acting and cinematography. And then we got final confirmation that the movie is going to be 2 hours and 55 minutes long. So it is the third longest superhero movie of all time, I think, behind Zack Snyder's Justice League and Avengers Endgame. And it's the longest Batman solo movie of all time. So there's a lot to like, and there's a lot going on. And there's also been some controversy over this movie being too long, which we can, of course, hit on as we normally do. So, Zian, I'm going to start with you. Just answer the question as is. We've talked about it a couple of times, but after seeing everything we've seen now, and really with Matt Reeves kind of doing his final quality control of the movie, it's pretty much locked and loaded for March. So do you think that this movie will dethrone potentially Dark Knight as the best Batman solo film of all time?
I think it definitely stands the biggest chance to dethrone the Dark Knight. Not only as like the best Batman film, but like you said, the best superhero film of all time, which the Dark Knight is widely regarded as being. And I think, excuse me, I think just from what we've seen in the trailers, from the clips that have come out, and just the tone and the theme of this movie and the story they're trying to tell, I think it just fits Batman so perfectly. And it's a side of him psychologically, I guess, that maybe Snyderverse alluded to a little bit, with that Batman being on the tail end of like his rage and his anger, but at the tail end of his career. Now this is a young Batman who's really just getting into it, but also trying to control that anger inside of him, which we didn't really see with Bale's Batman. Really from the get-go, he was just, all right, I'm not a killer. I have a certain code I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna control myself. But now we're actually gonna see a deep dive into Bruce's psyche almost, and basically what motivates him and what is controlling him and his rage. And I think just from a Batman story standpoint, that just sounds amazing. And I think for those reasons, I think it has the biggest chance. And in my opinion, it will dethrone the Dark Knight.
Umar, one of the interviews that Robert Pattinson did just this week, I think it was the Movie Makers magazine. He said that for his Batman, he sees every single thug he's fighting as the person who killed his mom. So there's this kind of intensity that he's bringing to the role. So I want to ask you, like, with that in mind, with you listening to some of the scores, seeing some of the clips, where do you stand on this question, this prompt, that do you think it actually has a chance to be the GOAT?
I'm with Zian. I think it has the greatest chance of everything that's come out with the character. I think Robert Pattinson also has a chance to be the greatest Batman. Like he has that chance. Christian Bale's obviously obviously one of the greatest actors alive. I don't know why Zian is laughing, and I want to know why he's laughing. Yeah, I think that the movie has a good chance. It has everything going for it. It has a good. The score seems like a pretty hopeful score. I know that from the trailers, it sounded like it would be more, just more like, I guess, like just darker or whatever, like just more violent, whatever. But it seems like there's gonna be a hopeful element to the Batman that maybe we didn't expect, even though like from also there's going to be intensity to him also with what you just shared with us. So I think if they balance those two things out, it's actually going to be pretty unique, because the Batman, the character, we've seen kind of the whole gambit with Christian Bale with his 3 movies. We saw him in Raised, we saw him in like everything. We saw the whole gambit, but I think if they focus on balancing out the hope and fear aspect of this one does definitely have a good chance to be the greatest. And I think that the Riddler, if the Riddler is really good, like if the Riddler goes down as one of the greatest villains of all time, then that would really give it a boost. Because remember that Christian Bale had Heath Ledger's Joker to like, it wasn't like he was carrying the whole movie. So it's not only going to be Pattinson. There's a lot of things that have to go right, but it seems like from everything we've seen that this is probably gonna give us that.
Yeah, and again for the score, I think there's a lot of things that's surprising about the score to me. Number one, Michael Giacchino, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right. He actually wrote the score for the movie, not the score. He wrote the main theme for Batman before any kind of images were out and before they even started shooting. So, and Matt Reeves, pretty much described in interviews that he fell in love with what the score was trying to convey about Batman. And it does remind me a lot about Batman the Animated Series. It feels like it's in that same breath of conversation. And at the same time, we have to think about this guy's prior work. I mean, he's done Spider-Man, whole No Way Home, Homecoming, Far From trilogy. So he knows how to like Umar said, he knows how to do wholesome kind of tones. But at the same time, I actually do feel like there's still a darker undertone to the score. How it stands compared to Junkie XL's Batman score or Hans Zimmer's original Batman score or Danny Elfman's score, I think that remains to be seen. It's going to be highly debated. I'm sure once we get a chance to hear the whole score, we can actually have a formal debate about it when the movie's out in a couple of months of where this score stands in comparison to BVS or Dark Knight or even Batman Begins. In my opinion, Batman Begins actually had the best score for Batman of that specific trilogy. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Why would you disagree with that?
Oh, of that trilogy, okay.
Yeah, that trilogy. I think of Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises, I think Begins actually had the best score overall. Yeah,
I think Junkie's score was the best, to be honest. Even though I think Zimmer did the Dark Knight, right?
Zimmer did Beautiful Lie, yeah, but then Junkie did the last one. Men Are Still Good, yeah. So
there's Beautiful Lie. It's a Batman score.
Yeah, I mean, is it a Batman score?
Are you sure it's not a Wonder Woman 1984 score now?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. The fact that Jan could say that shows how bad things are right now.
Officially, Beautiful Lie cannot be just a Batman score. It's a Batman / Wonder Woman score. Whereas Men Are Still Good is actually considered, I think, the canon Batfleck score. But Samir, same prompt to you. All things considered, do you think this movie is going to come out being the GOAT? But in particular, let's size it down because I think we've asked this question a few times. It's redundant. Let's go specifically for Robert Pattinson's performance. I don't know if you got a chance to see that clip, but do you think that Robert Pattinson will be the best Batman of all time after this movie?
I'm not sure if he'll be the best Batman. I saw the scene. I thought it was a good scene. Not too much happened. It was mostly just the shots from the trailer, just the whole scene. I think he's gonna be different from the other Batmans, but I think he's gonna be unique. But he might not be the best Batman. I mean, we still got to see the whole movie, but I definitely think it'll be the best movie of the year for sure.
I think I agree with you. Best movie of the year. Of course, things can be surprising. Surprises could show up over the course of the year, but I think right now it feels like there's not much of a great challenge to the Batman just from the outside looking in. But it's going to be very interesting to see kind of how this movie does with both the audiences and the critics. Apparently, there was a very early press screening for a very specific few critics to see the film already, and this is pretty not unprecedented, but it's pretty big for a DC movie in particular because they don't do press screenings early. In fact, they don't do them. Words are escaping me, but they don't do it that much before the movie's release date because a lot of times they're unconfident in the movie and they think they're going to get bad reviews. But to show a cut of the movie, what's according to Matt Reeves is the final cut based on his quality control posts 2 months in advance to critics, that shows they're really confident that it's locked, it's loaded. They feel confident in the visual effects. I mean, compare that to Spider-Man No Way Home, where they were literally working on visual effects even 1 to 2 weeks before the movie came out. So it's a completely different undertaking. And honestly, I think the Batman really could be really good. To answer the question myself, will it be the best Batman of all time? I think it is it's subjective in the sense where everyone's going to have their own favorite, but I think Robert Pattinson as an actor is right up there with the best of them, especially at his young age. So, you can make a case that Christian Bale brought a specific something to Bruce Wayne, whereas Ben Affleck brought a sense of grittiness to Batman. Where Robert Pattinson fits in all of that kind of remains to be seen. But from what I've seen so far, I can only think it's going to be good. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. So let's transition out of the Batman and into a topic a genre we don't normally cover, and that's Middle Earth. All four of us actually unanimously agree that Lord of the Rings is probably one of the greatest set of films of all time, and depending who you ask on this panel, it could be the greatest series of films of all time. So that being said, the pressure, the expectations for this new series, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, is very high. So they released a new teaser, and Samir, I'll start with you on this one. Do you think it's going to live up to the hype of Lord of the Rings?
I don't know if it can, because Lord of the Rings is just so great. But you're talking about the title teaser, right? Or was there more than that?
It was just the title teaser, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The title teaser, I thought it looked good. It was crazy that it was done practically. I assumed it would be all CGI, but so far it's looking promising. I don't know how Amazon Prime will handle. I don't know. I haven't seen much Amazon Prime shows, but so far it looks promising. Yeah.
Zion, I mean, you're someone who I think is in agreement. I think we might all be in agreement, but I haven't fully made sure about Umar yet. If Lord of the Rings is the greatest film trilogy of all time, and in particular, if either Fellowship or Revenge of the Sith, Return of the King is the GOAT. I have Star Wars in the mind because we have a Star Wars topic coming up. But do you think, like, number one, what is your personal excitement for the show? And compared to, let's say, now that I brought Star Wars up, compared to a show like Obi-Wan, where do you compare these two shows in your head?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree with that. In my opinion, Lord of the Rings is the greatest film trilogy of all time. And I think one of the great things, like Samir pointed out, was that, yeah, even I thought, that little teaser trailer must have been CGI, but the fact that it was practical really shows the commitment to the source material and to what they're trying to do, because what made Lord of the Rings so great, and we saw the problem with Hobbit, a lot of it was that it was so reliant on the CGI, and it became so messy and kind of muddled. And of course, something like this, a fantasy genre movie, it needs CGI, but you don't have to become overbearing. Like people make fun of the Far From Home thing, where Nick Fury was sitting in a room and they couldn't even have that practical. They had to make it CGI room, and like small things like that, the practical touch makes all the difference in the world. And we already know that this is the most expensive streaming show, I think, they set up all time. So they're definitely putting the money in on practical things and practical sets and effects and things of that nature. And I think the fact that the teaser intro or the teaser trailer was practical kind of shows that, yeah, this is the direction they're going. And that's definitely a very positive note, because of how the original Lord of the Rings, a lot of it was on practical sets with practical action weapons, not too much CGI. Obviously, the big battles they were, but like in terms of like just character moments, hand-to-hand combat, it was practical action. So I think that's a really good sign for the show. But I think I agree with Samir in one point that it will be hard to match, because the Lord of the Rings is perfection. So it's like there's a lot of room for error. And I think for a show, you could give it some leeway. Obviously, I don't think it'll be perfect, but I think the story they're going for of like the Second Age and whatever, and Sauron, like seducing the elves to make him a ring, I think it all sounds amazing. It'll be really cool to see on screen. And in terms of just that and Obi-Wan, I think that this will be better than Obi-Wan in just a show sense. But I think Obi-Wan series is different because it has that nostalgia factor. You're seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin come back with their actors reprising the roles. So I think just in terms of the how much you care for what's happening, I think Obi-Wan will pull on like our heartstrings more just because of that. But I think the Lord of the Rings show will be a technically better show than Obi-Wan.
Like you said, not only does it has the highest, like you said, I think you said it has the highest budget of all time for a TV show, and the budget is $1 billion, which is, I mean, they're not playing around. Amazon is putting a lot of money into this series, being, in their opinion, like Claire mentioned, like being the next Game of Thrones, and that's kind of the bar that they're trying to follow. And like again, you said, it follows kind of like the rise of Sauron, as the Dark Lord, the entire Second Age of Middle Earth, which for those that don't know what that means, like the Second Age ended, if I'm not mistaken, with the beginning battle of the first movie of Lord of the Rings. So Fellowship of the Ring, if you guys remember, the big battle between the elves and the men and the dwarves versus Sauron. That battle is the end of the Second Age, which this show is covering. So I'd be interesting to see if, and we know, I think Elrond's getting cast in this, Galadriel, they're bringing a lot of characters, obviously fresh interpretations, and it's not really part of the movie canon, but it's going to be part of, whatever new canon is creating, just another Middle-earth story. So it's going to be interesting, but yeah, like 1 billion for 5 seasons. Yeah. So Umar, like, are you personally excited for the show?
Yeah, excited for anything Lord of the Rings, man. And I do think you said you wanted to make sure on the panel that we're all in one boat. But yeah, it is the greatest. It's the greatest. I guess it's the greatest world to kind of jump into, and I am excited to see kind of what they're gonna do. I think what's important. I think Fatma made this point in the comments that they gotta fund it. Like the money has to be right for a show like of this magnitude, especially with what we're seeing in what we're seeing. Like everybody do in this realm in terms of CGI and so if they're, I guess Lord of the Rings has been able to find a good balance between that and the CGI aspect and the practical aspect. If they're able to pull off something great with the balance of those two things, I think even visually speaking, it's gonna be up there for sure.
Yeah, and my own opinion again is like just I think I'm thinking about 2022 as a whole, and it's very interesting that one comment is, what does that have to do with the Batman? We should just talk about the Batman, but we can circle back maybe but there's some better topics to be had, which is funny because when you see the topic, it's gonna be funnier. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so 2022 is interesting for me because it really feels like a return to childhood for two cases. We just had No Way Home, obviously, which was getting back our Spider-Man childhood, but we're going to see Obi-Wan and Anakin reunite in the Obi-Wan show, and we're going to get Lord of the Rings, which is kind of like pulling on. I mean, I don't know where you guys stand on The Hobbit, but I personally felt like Hobbit was really just not on the level of Lord of the Rings. So I'm hoping if this show can be somewhere in between Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, then that'd be a success. Like I don't personally. Well, now to answer that question myself, will it live up to the franchise heights? It will not live up to the heights, but it can be serviceable and do what it needs to do to be great. Congratulations, I appreciate that. I think that was our first YouTube comment that acknowledged the engagement. Nice. Facts from Nabil. So. And then speaking of engagement, so my fiance is saying that it's 8 episodes. I hope it's 8 full of lore and stories. So I think that is the right move. Like you do less episodes and just make them as pumped as possible with lore and story, and most importantly, not most important, but maybe equally importantly, as Umar has mentioned, visual effects. So it looks on par with movies that came out 25 years ago. But okay, I'm gonna jump to this and. I have a couple places I can go, so I'm trying to see if I should go back to superheroes or go to something funnier. But let me go to superheroes first. Okay, so beginning of this week, we saw the Moon Knight trailer. It came, I think, with whatever NFL game that was coming on at the time, and it's just the next Disney Plus show. But in many ways, it's a little different than your standard show. It's something that personally reminds me of the Netflix Marvel shows like Daredevil, The Punisher, etc. But Moon Knight, obviously starring Oscar Isaac. It has a much darker tone, as you guys saw from the trailer. It has much more grittier, kind of violent nature. I don't know if it's going to be a rated R show because, from my understanding, Disney Plus does not do that, at least in the United States. So I think it'll still be PG-13, but hard PG-13. But this is a bad photo from last week. Let me get the poster out. It's here you go. So this is the official poster, which Samir, you actually made a comment on. I'm going to swing back to you in a second. But in my opinion, it could be one of the better shows this year, and especially where it compares to other Marvel Disney Plus shows. That's where, that's the question I'm going to ask you guys. So Samir, since I'm going to call you starting 2022, the resident Moon Knight fan, do you think this will be the best Disney Plus Marvel show so far?
So far, I think it definitely will be. I think the only thing it has to pass right now is I say Loki was the best one so far, but this one definitely it's a different tone. I think Oscar Isaac will be insanely good with this role. I hope they don't go too jokey with it since he's more of a dark character, and it's like the character's mental illness. I hope they don't just play that off as a joke. I hope they dive into that. But yeah, so far, I think this will be the best one. And for the other Disney Plus shows that are coming out, I think maybe Secret Invasion could be better than the previous ones also, but I still think Moon Knight will be better than that. And Obi-Wan, of course, is the second most anticipated now for me, to be honest. We haven't seen a trailer yet, but if we get a trailer, then maybe it'll pass.
Right. Well, yeah, that's coming out. I think based on what I read so far, it's coming out May 4th, so not that long away. But you actually had a tweet, Samir, that I'm gonna just kind of cite right now because you did mention how this poster and the Doctor Strange one, which I do not have on my thing, are one of the better Marvel posters. And I would agree with you because of how bad some of the posters have been over the last few years. But as the resident artist of the group also, what do you make of this specific poster? Do you think it's like up there?
This is great. This is a great poster. It's a great example of a great poster. Okay, it's very artistic. It's very clean. Okay, the colors are nice. I think after I made that tweet, a couple days after, they released another Spider-Man poster. That's probably the best Spider-Man poster so far. They should have just released it with all the other posters. I don't know why they didn't. It was like on this tier, like right next to this one.
But you're saying this is better than like the other Marvel posters.
I don't know who they hired. I don't know what Sony was doing, but
yeah, this was a bad one. Even the fan rendition was a little better, and just not much better, but just a little better. Yeah, I think Umar's just like dying now over me showing a fan poster. But
the problem is it wasn't just that one. There were so many bad ones.
Oh, there were so many. Yeah, it's always with the bridge and Doc Ock, and it's like
and it was the same stock footage of Spider-Man, Doctor Strange.
They loved the
different places,
They loved the bridge stills, bro. They weren't even stills. They were like bad screenshots or whatever.
Zion, what about you? I mean, what do you make of Moon Knight? Like some Marvel fans are saying he could be like Marvel's Batman equivalent, but I want to specifically, if you make the point on it, like the mental health aspect of the show is obviously very important, but we saw Marvel drop the ball heavy when it comes to mental health, especially when you look at Endgame and how they dealt with like Thor's like what did he have? He had something, but the way they dealt with it, I feel like was not that great. So do you think that this show will like accomplish the things that the audience expects it to, or do you think it's going to match, let's say, Daredevil?
Well, it's not going to match Daredevil, of course, because there's only a certain amount you can go for in PG-13, but I think they will tackle like the mental health issues of Moon Knight, of the character, well in this series, because you really don't need a rated R or MA for a show to really tackle those issues. That's really more for violence. So I think they will handle that well. Oscar Isaac is obviously an amazing actor, so I think he will absolutely kill the role as Moon Knight, and I think that this series will do justice, and it will probably be the best one to come out so far for Disney Plus.
Yeah. Umar, did I ask you anything about this generic question? Do you think it's going to be good compared to the other Disney Plus shows?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, from the trailer, it looks alright. I'm not as excited about it as Samir, but it's alright. Like I'm more. I think I need to see more about it and go from there. Like I don't really have like a full feeling on it yet.
No, yeah. So I'm gonna jump. Now this is gonna probably whiplash our comments, but I'm gonna go to a topic that's near and dear to all of our hearts, but especially Umar's. So the Arthur finale is coming up, chat. It is coming up on February 21st. A lot of people have grown up with Arthur, obviously. So, this is like a little. Let's loosen up and let's talk about the finale of the show and how it could be better than No Way Home, maybe. I don't know. But so the series will feature grown-up versions of the characters. So just like how we've grown up, characters also growing up. So Samir, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your level of excitement for the finale of Arthur?
For sure, a 10, bro. I mean, Arthur just got out of 3rd grade a few years ago. It took him a while. It took him almost 20 years. He got to grade 4, I think. But now he's an adult. Now he's making it out. Okay? It's a crazy time. Times are changing. That's all I know.
You're saying times are changing. That's your
times are changing. It's never been more obvious. Never been more true.
If anything, this signifies them more than anything.
you're dead set on time changing. That's what you're saying.
For sure. I mean, they've done the older characters before. I know we use screenshots of it as memes. That was a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Oh, so you remember all the episodes by heart? Like you can just cite them.
Who does?
Oh.
Umar knows all the episodes.
Well, Umar, we know. That's how I said he's the resident Arthur fan. But
yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's good. Yeah.
All right, Zion, what about you? I mean,
will have to relive it. They'll have to stream it or something.
See, it's worldwide. UK had it. You guys had it in Canada. Well, it is a Canadian show, so you guys can take the win. It's one of the very rare things that Canada did right. What? Why are they doing this, bro? It's gonna be bad guaranteed. Now, see, this is where Uzi doesn't understand the culture. He didn't grow up with the '90s version of it. He only knows the current version, which Zion will probably get into now, of how Arthur fell off. So if it fell off, what's the guarantee that you think it's going to do good in the final episode?
There is no guarantee, and that's actually the biggest fear. That's the biggest fear because we've seen other shows that are like on their peak golden, like SpongeBob in the late '90s, early 2000s, but then it completely fell off after the movie came out. And I feel like this, we've seen. I don't know, we haven't seen, but like we've heard Arthur's fell off. I know Samir can let us know if it actually has or not, but from what we've heard, it has fallen off, and I don't think it'll really be as satisfying as we'd want it to. But what can you do? It'll just be like a nice happy ending, But like Samir said, we've already seen them as adults. So which one do you consider canon? Like, is this the Justice Arthur or whatever, And which one's like the Snyder Arthur? Is that maybe that other dream sequence of them being adults is like the actual Arthur? What do you consider canon?
The canon is going to be the last episode they present. The other thing was just them envisioning the future. But I'm actually with speed, I'm pulling up the actual like little photos so we can just put it up and laugh about it. But if you have Samir, what is your favorite episode? So why don't you answer this while I'm trying to like put the pictures up? I have a favorite episode too. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, for me, it's the library card episode. I'm talking about. Okay. They did the whole dance scene or whatever.
It's all right.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it.
Umar,
taught me a lot of lessons.
Oh yeah, Umar, don't pretend you don't know it. Don't act high and mighty. What's your favorite episode?
The first one.
Oh, the first one. Okay, the first one, the pilot.
What happened in the first one?
Yeah, I too am curious.
Just the setup was so good.
For the Bionic Bunnyverse. All right, this was good. This was a good joke. Arthur is goated, but we all know it's gonna be garbage if they grow up. They have to be kids forever.
He wants to.
You gotta show him the picture.
Send him back.
All right, so
grade, bro.
I mean, like, this is Arthur we know, and then sometimes they grew up. It's gonna be like this.
So good.
Umar's like lost right now. It sounds like laughing. Umar's gone.
Like
My favorite episode, to be completely honest and frank with you guys, is the episode where Mr. Rogers, crossover, and it was a really wholesome episode.
That is a classic.
Yes, and I also liked all the Bionic Bunny episodes, and it was all good. It's all good. Yeah. All right, before we lose every single viewer we have left, that is our topic on Arthur. Unless Umar, if you have a hot take that's gonna be better than the Batman, just say it now so we can have it recorded.
It's gonna be almost as good as the Batman.
Almost as good. All right, we'll find out.
Just saying, we can't count it out.
Yeah, we can't count it out. That's what I'm saying. Zion counted it out. That's the problem. He always counts things out, but I'm not counting it out. I'm saying that it has a chance.
One of three things is going to be the best.
It's because Jan lives in the real world.
All I can say is that it could be the best show at the end. It could be the best episode, but you can't compare it to a movie. You compare to the shows of this year. Will it be better than Attack on Titan? Who knows?
It could be better than Attack on Titan. Could be better than Lord of the Rings. There's the bar is very high. And speaking of the bar being,
the bar will be high if they do some kind of like sad, like a bittersweet ending to it.
They will never do that. It's art.
Somebody has to move away, or somebody's dying.
What?
Which Arthur characters
they've actually never dealt with that. They dealt with every issue except that.
No, I think they did. But remember one time, now we're going like we're basically dating ourselves.
Bugs moving or something.
Bugs?
Wait, what was it? Wait, Buster. My bad. I'm losing it.
Bugs.
You're literally a big fan.
All I know is though, he left.
You're the worst.
Bro, WB is getting to me, bro.
WB. All right, yeah. So he's not Bugs. It's
Algae.
Buster. Algae rhythm. No.
Buster went away, and it was a very sad moment for Arthur. He's like, my best friend is gone.
Yeah, today they dealt with it. I think as adults, they just like I'd rather not do like something like dumb, like with the characters, like do something wholesome and just like let it like end on a nice note. I mean, like regular show, kind of, you know. What's the film where they did a
Pops
fast?
died at the end.
What if
Okay,
they did
that's-
something
that's-
like Tom and Jerry?
Just we
was-
can't even talk about that.
That was
It
dark.
was too dark for me.
That's
but,
what Zion wants, bro. Zion wants some dark and gritty.
I mean,
crap.
Zion wants like a Just League 2 level like movie, you know, where like Buster, you know. I'm not gonna get into it. I had an analogy going. I'm gonna just hold it all. I pulled it all back. I pulled it all back. I'm not going into it.
You saved yourself.
Yeah, I had
Big
to
time.
save myself there. Yeah. I was the analogy I was about to make. I had to pull all the way back. I retracted. All right. Let's go into something from funny to like just jokey as we have tail off the last like topic and a half we have left. Willem Dafoe had an interview. Obviously, he's on a high right now after coming off of No Way Home. Everyone's appreciating him more. He's been trending as Willem the Goat a few times, and Willem the Drip. Which one was it? Did I say it wrong, Samir? But basically, he had an interview that, you know, would he ever want to play Joker? And it's funny because after The Lighthouse, a lot of people were saying they wanted Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe to kind of match up again as Batman and Joker, which obviously will not be happening as far as I understand. But Arthur falls under the anti-life equation, confirmed. Yeah, basically that's where I was going. And Buster was Batman in this case.
So you're saying Buster has Arthur's kid and
I'm not saying. I don't think no one's saying get into that. I'm just saying that I was just doing like a wider like analysis. But Willem Dafoe was saying that he wants to play Joker. Like he was fantasizing that he wants to play Joker alongside Joaquin Phoenix. And his idea was that instead of him being actually Joker, he was someone who's inspired by Arthur Fleck, and then the two of them meet and things happen. So Umar, as the resident Joker fan, because when we were little, he used to always imitate Joker, so I'm gonna call you the resident Joker fan.
Right.
Number one, do you think Willem Dafoe's onto something here? Like, does he actually have an idea? And number two, can he even pull off the Joker? Well, I know he could, but do you want him to pull off the Joker potentially?
He could easily pull off Joker, easily. And we've already seen like hints of it with his Green Goblin performance. I think actually this is a pretty exciting idea. Actually, I think it's something that they should look at. It's a very unique way of tackling the Joker character, which they haven't done in the past. Something along these lines. And to have those two actors working with each other, I honestly think like it would be gold. And if they want to do something that's like, again, like completely unique, like they did the first time, you want to do something like crazy, they could easily go this route. I actually think they should try to
Consider
make this
it.
happen.
But you actually ask him like, hey, you have a pretty idea, why don't you come on board and let's discuss it further? Because I also agree. I mean, I thought it'd be very interesting if he's the imposter, like an imposter Joker, and they meet. And in the end, Willem Dafoe's Joker ends up being the one that the world remembers as Joker. Like the inspiration becomes the main. And maybe he kills Joaquin Phoenix. It'd be crazy. Like everything would be wild, interesting. And he thinks very interesting. I mean, we know he's pretty much goated as Green Goblin, but Zion, do you think he could put up a valiant performance as Joker, specifically pairing up with Joaquin?
yeah, I think he definitely could. I mean, like Umar said, we've seen how he was in No Way Home. We've seen his Green Goblin performance in the original Spider film as well. So he has a very good range of the type of character he wants to play. And as far as Joker, I think they could really make him like an actual sadistic Joker, which we have not seen that much, to be honest. Like even Heath Ledger's Joker, he wasn't like overly violent in like a gruesome way, and neither was obviously Arthur Fleck's Joker or Joaquin Phoenix Joker. They weren't overly violent, sadistic Jokers. They had a certain limit, maybe because they didn't want to freak out the audience or whatever. But I think if you have Willem Dafoe, you can really have him just go wild. And I think the theory, like you said, Shraz, that if he actually becomes a Joker that the world remembers, that becomes like that super villain Joker or whatever, I think that would be amazing. And if anybody can pull it off, it's Willem Dafoe.
Who didn't go yet? Was it Samir? Yeah. What did you think? What do you think about this idea? Who would outperform the other? Like if two of them were in one movie, like you think one would actually pull off being better?
I think it'd be really close, but I might have to go with Willem Dafoe because I just like his style more than actor. I think it depends. I really think it depends on how Willem Dafoe's Joker would be written. I think this idea really reminds me of the Tweet Joker storyline, we won't say who wrote it, but I mean, it was pretty good, I think. But they'd have to, if they did adapt that, they'd have to make it in a certain way for it to actually work. But if they did, it'd be great for sure.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think I've sprinkled us. Were you saying something?
I was saying that I think because we've seen Joaquin Phoenix already, I think by default, Willem Dafoe would just his performance would just come off like different. So like I think most people would be like, "Yo, this guy's, he maybe outperformed Joaquin Phoenix."
Yeah, you never know. But then again, Joaquin did win an Oscar, so I forget about that. But here's Willem Dafoe Joker. Him becoming like the actual clown prince of crime would be very interesting. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Matt Reeves.
If Zack Snyder ever made Dark Knight Returns, which he said he would like to, Willem Dafoe can totally be that Joker. It's an interesting idea actually, because Willem Dafoe playing the Dark Knight Returns Joker, that actually could work.
What about Leto, yo?
Leto playing that Joker? No. But but
wasn't that the goal?
No, because Zach did say if he ever made the Dark Knight Returns, like an actual 1-to-1 remake of Dark Knight Returns, not remake, adaptation of Dark Knight Returns, he would cast brand new actors throughout. So he wouldn't use Ben Affleck. He would use different actors for Superman, Batman, Joker, and create something out of that. So I mean, honestly, if Willem Dafoe, I mean, he's getting up there in age, but the theory is interesting. I honestly, if you want to take off fiction from reality, honestly, it's not going to happen. I don't think he's going to play Joker. I don't know what the status is of Joker 2 anymore. I know when the movie came out and hit $1 billion and it won the Oscar, there was a lot of buzz to make a Joker 2, and they are developing it. But just because they're developing something doesn't mean they're going to actually shoot it, like we saw with movies like New Gods and stuff like that. So if Joaquin is interested, I know Todd Phillips will not come back to direct a Joker 2. He may produce it. So whoever they find, a good director, a good movie, put it together, maybe it's possible. I would love to see a Joker 2 if they didn't use Willem Dafoe, like do a completely different origin story. Like now suddenly he's a chemical vat worker and he falls in the vat and then he becomes Joker. Like do a whole different spin on it, Like I don't know. But yeah, that's that. Last thing, we'll probably wrap up quick. Zion, you can answer this one solo if you want to. Please get it out of the bag. We never talked about it. Is the book of Boba Fett living up to expectations? I don't know how our audience feels about The Mandalorian in particular, or how they feel about Star Wars in general post Rise of Skywalker. But do you think, Ziana, you could solo take this topic? Do you think it's living up to expectations after 4 episodes?
Well, I don't really know what the expectations were going in, but it's really like it has been a letdown, honestly. And just from a storytelling standpoint, it's been 4 episodes now, and they've done a lot of nothing really, and like they have not progressed this character. I guess you could say that, oh yeah, now you see more that he's not that much of a bad guy and that he was just a bounty hunter, so it didn't really matter what he was doing. He was just there for the money, and he wasn't really doing it because he's an evil person or he agreed with Darth Vader or whatever and their motives. So I guess in that sense, yeah, you evolve this character a little bit. But overall, story-wise, they're doing very little with the character, and episode to episode, nothing is happening. So it's really been a big disappointment so far and kind of boring. Actually, pretty boring.
I just agree with that. Cosign Shiraz Farooqi on that. And Umar Smir, I won't even ask you the question for reasons I will not tell the audience even. Let me unless Samir you want to think about it, which I don't think you have anything to say. There you go. Yeah. Thumbs up on that. Samir, actually Umar, I'll ask you something really quick, just rapid fire like Zion did it. Aquaman 2 and Avatar 2 released the same day. Which film will be better? Just gut feeling, go for it.
Yeah, Avatar 2.
Avatar 2. Samir, what about you?
I might have to go with Avatar 2 also.
I'm also going with Avatar 2, actually.
I'm going to go with Aquaman.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They filmed the whole movie underwater in Avatar 2.
Dear God.
The whole movie. And it's James Cameron. Like this is going to revolutionize movies again, I think. Whether the quality is good or not, I don't know. But I think it's going to... Remember, people hate 3D, but 3D was basically not invented, but it was standardized by Avatar 1, like because of the technology they were putting. Again, I personally don't like 3D.
Yeah, look at 3D now. You actually barely.
It's dead now, but for 10 years, it was like literally like a fad. People loved it. A lot of people loved it, but it was a high-selling market. Now it's dying, obviously. But I think Avatar 2 will do something for better or does better. I think better as a movie. Like, what's going to be a better film?
Will it
experience.
break $1 billion?
Will it break $1 billion? Yes. Now that No Way Home broke $1 billion, I think the $1 billion market is back again. Where I would say even Batman might break $1 billion, and then Doctor Strange probably will break $1 billion. I think Avatar 2, people say like they're tired of it or they don't want to see it anymore, but I think when it comes out, it's gonna become must see, where you just have to see it just to see it for the technology's sake of what they're trying to do, cinematically pushing the genre forward, which James Cameron is known for. But I also agree, Avatar 1, like story-wise, it aged kind of poorly for me, but it did do, like, it changed everything in terms of cinema, and it changed blockbusters, I think, for the modern age. And then also Disney World's version of it is pretty cool. I like walking around there. All right, that's all of our topics. Now it's time for the fun topic, the funny joke topic of the day. And I'm going to start with this one. So 2 have to go forever, okay? So you got to have all these options, and you got to get just 2 you can never have the rest of your life. This comes courtesy of my fiance Fatima, sending it to it, the 4 of us, so we're going to answer it. So who's gonna go first? I'll go last. Umar, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Which of these 2 do you have to get rid of forever?
So cola's cola. Soda is out. I don't need soda. I barely drink soda in real life. And then it gets a bit tough because everything else on here is really, really good. But then I guess I could go chips. I could let go of chips. Everything else, I think it would be hard for me to let go. What are you saying, Charles? I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you got rid of chips and soda.
Yeah, chips and soda is fine. I rarely have those things in life anyways, so it's like everything else is more. Fatima just said cookies gotta.
Cookies and soda gotta go. Cookies, yeah.
Do you agree? Let's put you on the spot. Do you agree with your?
Do I? I mean, of course, I agree. But I'll give my answer as well in a minute. But I agree with half of it. You know, like cake. Usman is saying Uzi rather is saying cake is gone and soda is gone too. Nabil with nothing to add to this. Soda and chips need to go forever. Forever. Wow. Let me cite the reference again. Samir, what do you make of this?
I don't understand. Is it just, what do you mean by chocolate? All chocolate? Everything's chocolate everything?
I think any chocolate bar, maybe. Because cake is chocolate too, and so is cookie, and so is ice cream.
Yeah, I know, but is it like, what if it's like chocolate syrup or something?
I think now
the syrup is fine. It's just
assume anything chocolate that's not ice cream or cake. That goes.
That's too much. I'm just gonna assume it's the bar because it's the bar picture.
Fine, if that makes it easier for you.
Yeah, of course.
Bar of chocolate.
Because I'd get rid of that. And my very hot take is I'd get rid of pizza because it's unnecessary.
What the hell?
Wait, you're getting rid of pizza?
Because
pizza and chocolate. You're picking pizza.
He always has to be different.
Yeah, he's a contrarian. It's like you want to be a contrarian for.
He forgot how he ate glass pizza in New York, and now he's like,
I like the glass pizza in New York personally.
Thing is, it's either the pizza or the burger here, and I'd rather have the burger. Really, let's get rid of the pizza, and then for chocolate, I could just interchange that with cookies. I really just one of those have to go. But
all right,
probably chocolate since we had the cake already. Pizza is too much cheese.
Too much cheese on pizza.
Much cheese. I hate
so cheese. You want like a pizza with no cheese? You know?
I'm intolerant.
Okay. You're lactose intolerant.
There, but
yeah.
You know
Zian, what do you make of this?
I think soda can go.
Where choose me?
I think soda can go, and French fries can go.
Soda and French fries?
Yeah, French fries are like the worst. I can go the rest of my life right now without anything and just go without French fries forever.
So you hate fries?
I hate fries. I don't hate them, but I'll have no problem never eating them again for the rest of my life.
And the fries hate you too.
But the McDonald's fries are so good, right?
McDonald's fries
I'm so curious to hear what Charles has to say. It's wild.
You're very curious, huh? You're very curious. Yeah, Zian's trying to like just be different out here. Zian's being contrarian.
I hate French fries.
Samir and Zian have literally like ended things tonight, like today.
It's not worse than pizza. Pizza's like, how can you let go of pizza?
Yeah, pizza's life, Samir. What's wrong with you? And fries life
on the
too.
orange juice.
Pizza, whatever, bro. Pizza's mid.
Mid.
Overrated.
That's not. You know what? The truth is that the honest truth is that in Ottawa there's no good pizza. So he's not. He's not.
I agree.
There's like one good place. If there's anybody from Ottawa watching, which probably just means Samir, you seen pizza, go and have it. Shout out to Yassine, bro.
All right, shout out.
Give your
Giannis tripping. Fries are fire. Pizza sucks.
Why is Nabil agreeing? Now I have to change my choice.
Balan, bro. All right, now I'll give you my choice. Okay, so I think soda also I can go without. I don't think I need soda, and I also don't think we need chips either. So soda and chips. Yeah, so I'll go with them. Chips. I'll tell you why. Soda is only good once, like very rare situations, like during a movie theater, or like even then, like not all the time. So
let me just expose Straws right now. 5 seconds before the stream, you stuffing down kettle barbecue chips.
I was having chips / crisps in the morning, and it was crisps. Yeah, I know the crisp liner is coming, so I'm bracing myself. Crisps. Yeah.
By chips, do you mean the fries or the chips?
So in the UK, fries are chips, and chips are crisps, and cookies are biscuits. There you go. Got it. I'm all three.
Biscuits.
So confusing.
The whole other
biscuits, man.
Too generalized. Too generalizing like crazy.
All right, so for me, crisps / chips are the worst because not the worst, but they're just not the ones I go for because it's like, come on. It's not like a daily. You don't go for a daily, But the rest, like pizza, I can't go without. I'm a New Yorker, Fries down just on two, so I'll never agree with him. Cake, it's good in certain situations. Burger, I'm having one literally to watch Attack on Titan with, so I can't like cap on that. And then the rest is just what the rest,
Wait, did you get rid of soda too?
Yeah. He was stuffing crisps before the stream, and that's what Zian's. He's snaking me out right now.
Wait, he's like Translate cabbing for the gram on the street.
I'm not. I just wait. Okay, so I had some chips before the stream, but one of you will see me before I have chips. So think about it. I bet you can't think of you in one time.
When we went to watch the last movie, I forgot what it was. You had Tostitos chips and dip. Okay. That counts. That's chips.
Any chips that you dip in like salsa or cheese,
that is chips. Like you'll just have the cheese and the salsa. You won't have the chips to dip in.
That's not chips. That's something else. That's chips and cheese. No?
That counts. That's chips. You just call it.
It's a different scenario.
No, it's all part of the same family.
That's true. If you dip in it, it's different.
It's different. Yeah, it's a complete different scenario.
It's totally different.
Because by chips, I mean like those bag of chips you open and you like eating.
You open those chips too. You just don't have any.
If you get rid of chips, can you ever have nachos again?
They're called nachos. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, but can you ever have that again?
No, you can't. Those are part of the chips family.
Bro, Saf can't life without chips. Saf's not even there. He's like throwing shots.
It's true.
That's Saf.
Was he like? Didn't he clear out a whole bag of like sour cream and onion chips?
Saf, yeah.
In one sitting.
He did, yeah. I'm gonna. If Saf watches later, I'm gonna call him on it.
Did you all choose soda?
Yeah.
Terrible choice.
But I mean, it's not my fault.
What are you talking about?
You gotta
when we come to Canada, when we go to your house,
soda.
When we go to your house, the soda's warm.
I got a new fridge.
Okay.
Come again, man.
Okay. These are those are called tortilla chips. So same thing. Are nachos made from potatoes? Who is the best Batman actor? What's happening right now? Yo Shraz, you saying chocolate bar is different from a chocolate morsel? I don't know what a chocolate morsel is. I legit don't know. Cheese alone, so that's where the topic of the stream is. And crisps are life. I legit can eat them nonstop.
Also,
you ever chocolate chips? Like chips that are chocolate.
Oh man,
where does that fall?
I don't know.
That's chocolate.
These are the questions.
It is. It's chocolate.
I guess.
Also, Samir, I got to expose you. Yeah, he's saying all this big talk about having a new fridge or whatever, but he keeps the soda like the cellar. He doesn't big up.
And the Swiss rolls never go in
the garage, bro.
And the Swiss rolls, the garage.
The garage is closing.
I feel like people have wine cellars. Samir's a soda seller.
And the Swiss rolls are never in the fridge either. That's the problem.
Gotta have it warm. Gotta have it melty.
I'll give you one more zinger question. This comes courtesy of Samir. Is this Samir or Zion? Let's see, it was Samir.
It's Samir.
So, what's the proper way for Batman to wear a hat?
What the hell?
Yeah, so if Batman was gonna wear a hat, how can he wear it? With the mask on. So I implore you guys to find an answer to this question.
The answer is 1 or 3.
1 or 3.
Because it's the only way. Because 2 doesn't make sense because the ears don't go back. They're not
Sometimes
fall.
they do.
We don't know that.
No, they don't. They don't. And 3 is the only 3. The hat's not messed up. Like sure, it gets crinkled, but it's not messed up. 1, it looks weird. But it worked.
The bill's like on 10 right now. It can't be 5. It can't be below his eyes. No one wears a hat below their eyes. What's wrong with this guy?
It's 4.
I think. You know what? I think it's 4 also. Yeah.
I was gonna say 2, but the ears.
It's like depends what kind of ears you're talking about. But yeah, I think most times John's right. The ears don't just flap back.
The 4 is very bad. The ripped stuff is like very bad.
3 doesn't work either. You're just stuffing in between the
3.
That's why it works. Yeah.
It'll really fly off.
I mean, it depends how
And
tight
then
it's.
1 is the worst. 1 is bad. 1 is really bad. 5 and 1 are just bad.
1 doesn't make sense. It'll just fly off.
Yeah, one is not logical.
So then we've all come to the conclusion that 3 is the only one.
3?
What about 4?
No, it'll fly off.
Good.
3 will fly off.
You mess up the hat. You can't mess up the hat.
You're not allowed to break the hat.
Yeah, you rip the hat. That doesn't work.
That's not a rule.
What kind of hat will 5 even be? Like it's not ripping from the horns. And it's going below his ears and eyes. So yeah, then I guess it's 2 or 3. 2 if the flap can go back. Otherwise, it's 3.
There's no Batman where it goes back. Not a single Batman. They're always rigid.
Then it has to be 3.
So it's
Yeah,
not
when does Batman wear a hat? The mask is a hat, kind of.
it's
It's
a
also
cowl.
a hat. Well, that was my mistake. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. We're 4 do be looking kind of fancy though. Do it. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, I think 4 is the most like fashionable statement. See, but otherwise, Either way, what was the theme of the topic? Right, Batman. So, do you guys think that the Batman will be the best Batman solo movie of all time? Let us know in the comments and join the debate. From myself, from Zion, from Umar, and from Samir, this is the Farooqi Bros, and we're going to watch Attack on Titan. Peace out.